This will be history. President Obama set to deliver a speech to students all across the country next Wednesday via the internet and television. But some parents are concerned his message is less about education and could be more about teaching the ideals of a liberal presidential administration.
Well, joining us now, some people with that concern. Radio talk show host and parent Dana Loesch, and she launched a campaign called Hall Pass on that. Also with us, a mom who plans to keep her 2 kids home that day, Michelle Moore. First off, Dana, what alarmed you about this?
Well, 2 things actually alarmed me. First of all, I really looked over the materials that were distributed by the Department of Education, and the first thing that I noticed is that the focus of these materials is on being submissive to the government. And, you know, respect for your president, respect for your elected leaders, that's fantastic, except that your leaders need to reciprocate that respect, and they need to realize that the power in a republic lies with the voting people. That's the first thing that kind of concerned me. The second thing that concerned me is that normally when you have addresses such as this, or when you have assemblies, it's something that the school board vets. It's something that the superintendent vets. There's a certain protocol that must be followed before it goes down to the principals and then ultimately the student body. All of that was leapfrogged by this administration. It went straight from the Department of Education right to the principals, and there's a lot of parents who've spoken to me. They've talked to their principals, and it kind of weirded them out a little bit, simply because this is also the first time in history that that protocol has been skipped.
Yeah, well, one of the moms right next to you, Michelle Moore, you're going to keep your kids out of that particular day part. I know you haven't decided whether or not they're going to skip the whole day of school, but what is it about this particular address that has got you bugged to the point you're going to keep your kids out of school?
Well, I think I agree with a lot of what Dana just said. One of my main concerns was that it wasn't presented to the Board of Education ahead of time. Hey, this is what we're going to do. We have a pre-taped speech. You know, I have to sign permission slips for my kids to watch certain movies in school. So this wasn't, again, like she said, vetted through the Board of Education at all. It was simply presented, hey, we're going to do this. This is when it's going to air, and you're going to show it to your kids. So I didn't like that, and I also don't like, you know, this is a government of the people. Not what can you do for your government, but more how can your government represent you. Right. And I don't feel like any of the materials that have been released are reflecting that.
All right, and the follow material that follow-up workbooks that go along with this, and the question should be asked, also are raising a lot of eyebrows. Dana Loesch, Michelle Moore, thanks. Dana's program, Hall Pass on that, and that is a big campaign. Thanks, guys, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, more Fox and Friends.